Hi, and welcome to Geeky Girls Journal. My name is Andrea, and I am so excited that you have chosen to join us today. This live is going to be awesome. Did I say it's going to be awesome? Fantabulous. I'm telling you, you all are going to thoroughly enjoy this live. So if you're here, it's going to be. Ooh, there's the echo. I know you hear that. Sorry, you all. Let me mute my phone. So if you're here, you are in for a treat. Let me tell you, you are in for a treat. I have some fantastic women that are going to be joining us. And I'm just going to ask two things: that you like this, that you share it out, because you never know who can benefit from this conversation. So make sure you share with friends, family, whomever. And then the second thing I want you to do is just sit back, relax, and enjoy this because we are going to have a good time. Make sure you are interactive, as I know you are in the chat. And hey, the people who just came in, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. We are going to get started. As you can see, today's title, yeah, it's going to be something to talk about. So I know you all have opinions, comments, whatever it is, bring it to the table. And we are going to talk about it today. So if you are in replay mode, thank you for watching. And thank everybody who's a subscriber that's watching. So let's get started. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to my panel. The lovely ladies are going to be here representing, and you all know them well. There might be one that you might have forgotten about, but maybe so. Because she was here once. So you may remember her, you may not. So you know me, I'm the geek hero, Andrea. And then we have, let's see who's coming up first. I don't know. Who should I say first? We have. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna push one. We have
Oh, I
Adrian.
thought you were gonna put Auntie Star first.
We have
Hi
Adrian.
guys.
We have Mama. We have a couple mamas in this chat today, so we're gonna do well. We're gonna lay it all on the table. So we have Adrian, the sister of all sisters, right? Okay, so y'all
Sister
know
of
that
all
the sister of
sisters.
all sisters, business owner, good friend. So she's gonna have a good time with this topic, and I'll let her say more about herself later on. I want to introduce the rest of the ladies, and then we'll get into that because we want to keep this thing moving. So I'm gonna bring in the next person. Is going to be who is it? Tara.
He's funny.
All
This is
right,
like Celebrity Squares.
celebrity
Right?
squares. I'm going to try to like maneuver everybody to see if we can do a little bit better with this. But so we have Star. She is also a mama. She has a lot to say, just like we do.
Mm.
You all met her last year. If you, I mean, not last year, the last show, the last live. If you didn't know her before, now you do. Author. I called her a thespian the last time.
That's thespian. Thespian.
Thespian. Thespian.
Thespian.
So that's
I
her.
was I was almost like, huh?
Yeah, no. Thespian.
Thespian.
I'm
Did I
just
say it
clearing it
wrong?
up. I'm just clearing it up.
Thez. Okay, T-H-E. Ah, I get it. I get what you're saying. And
Yay.
so I want to introduce the third guest. The third guest, because we have these two beautiful ladies. And hey, Jay, how are you? Thank you so much for sharing us out. And we have the third guest. You all met her here once before, but we're going to reintroduce her again. She is, let me see, a very hard worker, and she is my bonus sister. Somebody who, she is another sister that is just really near and dear to my heart. And I'm trying to find the words for her because I know these people, and sometimes it's just kind of hard to try to explain who they are to you all. But she is, she is a sister from another mother. Let's just call her that. She's a sister from another mother. So we're going to go ahead and
Aw.
bring her on in here. And she is Tamika. As you
Hey
already
Hey
everybody.
know,
Tamika. What's up,
we
Mika?
have all these beautiful ladies here. Are y'all ready? Mhm.
Ready.
Yes. And I think there's an echo. I don't know if it's on my end or
It is an echo.
yeah. Jay, can you let me know if you can hear out there? Or anybody else who's here?
I don't
Okay.
hear it.
I think it may
Oh,
be a little better. Is
I
that
can
better,
hear it.
you all?
I can hear it
You
too.
can hear. Okay. Is it me?
Well,
Let me
let's
put my
see.
I'll put my earbud on and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. Everybody out there in the
Does
audience,
that
thank
make
you
a
so much.
difference?
Um,
Say something else.
Something else.
I don't hear an echo from you. Andrea, you say something.
Do you hear from me?
Oh, that's
Yes.
better.
It's
Is it
better.
better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
I'll keep
better.
my headphones
Okay.
on. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. And let me know if you all hear it, and I'll just put something on. I do hear it slightly, but if I'm the only person that can hear it, we're gonna carry on. So, ladies, all right, how's your day so far, ladies? Before we get right into this, because this is going to be a great topic.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all
Yep.
right, you all ready to just dive on in it? Let's just dive in. So, we have the author here with us today. So, we're going to have a treat for you all a little bit later. Somewhere along in this conversation, I don't know where it's going. So, just take this ride with us. We're just going to play it by ear, and then we're going to have a special treat for you, and then we're just going to talk about it. So, let's talk about this. Don't tell your mama, sister, and girlfriends everything. And I don't want to talk a lot. I just want to hear what our guests have to say about this topic. Let's start with Star. What are your opinions about don't tell your mama, sister, and girlfriends everything? I just want you to get it warmed up for us so we can keep
Well,
on going.
maybe we shouldn't start with me because that was a chapter in my book, 22 Things Men and Women Should Ought Not Do in Relationships. So maybe you should not start with me.
It sounds
'Cause
like we should start with you
Yeah,
since it's a
that's
chapter in your
right.
book.
I have
We
a lot
should
to say
start
about
with
that.
you. What do you have
Well,
to say about that?
the reason why I wrote that chapter was because in my travels, I had come across, you come across people that, it's good to share and vent and have someone that you can talk to, that gives you good ideas, that gives you support, because sometimes we all need support. I know my two nieces support me sometimes. And, you need relationship support. Sometimes you need advice, you need to talk it out, not necessarily just have somebody tell you what to do, but just somebody to listen to you. However, gets a little bit sticky when you share a wee bit too much. and and who you're sharing it with. And so that's kind of why I ended up writing that chapter, but we'll get into that a little bit later because I have an excerpt that I'm going to read from the chapter, what I had to say about that. It's a little comical,
Ooh,
Would you like
I'm
to
but
read that
excited.
right now to get us all started?
I mean, I'm just saying, well, I mean, if you want to do that, we can. I have it all down here
Let's get this party
in
started.
the
Let's
book.
ignite. There we go. Let's ignite. Let's
Mm.
go. I have a feeling that when you read this excerpt, we're gonna have some things to talk about.
Well, I don't want to give it all. I wanted to save some for Jesus. So I just marked a little spot. But basically, let me give you a quick outline of how this book is written. So this is a book that I wrote. It's been a while, but the reason why I wrote it because at the time I was single, and most of my friends were single, and male and female, and people would call me and complain about things that were happening in the dating world, as some people still do, even though I'm not in the dating world anymore. But I'm not that far removed that I can't identify with it. So this is why I wrote this book. It was based on things that I had experienced. It was based on things that people had called me to complain about. I don't know why people called me, but they did. And so I gathered all that information up and I called it 22 things because there are 11 things for men and 11 things for women. So I dug out each gender. It's not male bashing. A lot of people think a woman writes a book and they're male bashing. I'm not male bashing. I go pretty hard on the women too. So anyway, having said that, this happens to be in the female chapter side, and this is thing number 5. Never tell your girlfriend's mother, sister everything. Ladies, when you are in a relationship with a man, specifically a serious relationship, i.e., long term commitment, engagement, or marriage, your deepest conversations need to be had with your partner and not with your neighborhood broadcasting system. Men loathe when women put their business out there. Now, we've all heard men say this at some point, and true, some of them are excessive and go overboard with the whole privacy clause. But you, ma'am, must learn to confide more in your partner and communicate your most intimate thoughts and issues and details to him. Then I'll skip down and I say, you must never take the advice of other women completely verbatim and apply it to your own situation. It is absolute poison.
Mm,
No two men are alike, including father and son or identical twins. And I'll stop there.
mm.
That's
Before I
So,
fact.
say something, do either of you two beautiful ladies at the bottom of this panel have anything to say about that? Because I heard a lot, and that was a lot to try to process and unpack. But I had some thoughts on that. But I'm gonna give the floor to Adrian or Tamika. What do you think about that? Anything stick out? Anything that she said in particular that you have a comment or a suggestion or whatever it is that you have that you could you know relay to the audience and something that's helpful um, in relation to what she said, what Star said. And he's looking like, what?
they must
I'm,
say,
I'm looking at Tamika like, Tamika, she really over there thinking.
I know you look like you really
Oh,
have some wheels turned.
I know. I want her to say something because it looks like she is like
oh, well, I
wanting to say.
think that the part about not broadcasting it to everyone is really important. And that's important in any relationship. If you have a problem with someone, you should talk to that person, right? You shouldn't go around telling everybody else about the problem, but the person you have the problem with is unaware. So I think that that's a very good point. We should put that on a billboard, you know, talk to the person you have the problem. You have the problem with.
Tamika, okay,
Yep.
can I ask a question? I know I did say Adrian was going next, but I have a question. So, what if that person does not want to talk to you? What if you?
See,
What
that was my question.
I
Yeah, because
addressed that in the book.
you addressed that in the book, but we're
Yes,
gonna
I
get down
did.
into
Okay,
it
what's the
because
answer? What was your
but
answer to that
the answer,
question?
what did you say the answer was in the book? What do you think
The
the answer
answer is that's a whole different problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a partner, husband, spouse, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, and they're just not interested in hearing or discussing with you anything, that's a whole nother problem. That is a complete communication breakdown. And when there is a serious lack of communication, it's gonna die eventually. You might as well just save some time and pack your bags. I mean, I
And
never
just to
tell
put it
anybody to.
out, I'm not talking about my spouse personally. I'm just because we're talking about
general
relationships,
term?
period.
Yes.
Yes,
Just general relationships. And
yes.
at the other person does not want to have a conversation, doesn't want to, yeah,
And I absolutely
acknowledge it.
know what you're talking about because you're my niece and I know what you're talking about. And I advised you on this particular situation. I said that person does not want to communicate with you. Let it go.
Let it go, let it go. So I have a question, and I know I might be jumping ahead because I might just be jumping ahead, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So we're talking about don't tell your mama, sister, girlfriends, everything. But what happens when you have tried to communicate with that person and they don't want to talk to you? We already discussed that. Um, but then you want to have the advice of someone else to see if you're approaching the situation right. And I'm going to kind of just paraphrase this or try to bring this all to together. We were talking the last live star, but I think we talked about it before previously, maybe with Adrian or so, but between the three of you, you were a part of this conversation. And we were saying how um, you can't tell everybody everything. However, Star, it was you, Star, you said it. You were talking about the chess. You kind of use the analogy of the
The
chess game.
chessboard.
The chessboard, yes. And you were saying how you're kind of strategic. Like you have friends, but then you move around. It just kind of depends, and then you kind of put them in a subcategory. Do you all think that it's important and that is common for people to put friends in subcategories because I found myself doing that. Well, I only have the one, but I do put people in kind of categories. Like I tell one person almost everything, and I might tell Tamika, a different issue. I might tell Star something else because I know what their personality is. I know um, that, well, first of all of you ladies are honest with me, so I don't have a problem with that part of it. But I just think that certain times you can go to different individuals with certain information. One person may not be able to handle what it is that you have to say. So do you all find yourself in that situation sometimes where you can take certain things to certain people and then, you're just able to have that conversation with them and you may not be able to have it with another friend, for
Well,
example?
I think that is a natural occurrence because um, it's somewhat becomes logical. If I'm having a relationship issue with my marriage, why would I ask someone who is single who's never been married?
Mm-hmm.
So you bring
I
up
I mean, doesn't mean they're not my friend. Doesn't mean they don't might not be able to offer good advice, but they can't offer experienced advice. you know. And I say this from experience because before I got married, you know, I would say, why don't you just, to my friends or and they're like, well, it kind of doesn't work that way when you're married. And then when I
Mhm.
got married, I'm like, yeah, it don't work like that. You can't
Yeah,
just, you
Right.
can't just, you know,
can we
it,
do
it
that?
doesn't work that way. When you're single, you
Well,
have a plethora of options.
oh, yeah, you make decisions for yourself and only for you. You don't
And
have to
only
think
for
about the
you.
other person. And I can remember years ago when I put a post up on Facebook, and it was the same conversation we're having, and I was saying, don't listen to your single friends about marital advice. Nothing. It was not a shot at the single people. It was just saying that you cannot give me advice if you have not really walked in my shoes because there are certain things that happens in marriages that just does not happen when you're single.
It
And
doesn't. I don't care how long you've
Exactly.
been with that person. It's
I don't
not
care
the
how long
same.
it's not the
Mm-mm.
same. And people sometimes I've even heard a single person tell me, well, I've dated somebody for 25 years. It still didn't matter because once you make that vow, I'm gonna say vow. Once you say those vows under God, it's a different. You're put in a different category. That's
We
the nice way to
coined
Mm.
it
say it.
commitment last time.
Commitment. We coined it
It's
commitment.
commitment.
Yes.
Yep.
So it just doesn't work that way. So, I think we all, everyone here on the panel and in the chat, that's a logical way to function. You have friends that you can talk to about. Sometimes you don't talk to a certain friend about something because they're a hothead,
Yes.
but if
Mm-hmm.
if it's time to pull out the black sweatsuits and get the Vaseline, that's the friend you're gonna call. I got your back. I'll be there.
Yeah. If it's
Mm-hmm.
time to get rowdy and rah-rah, that's you're right. That's the friend
Right.
you call.
But if you're looking for a peacemaker, you're not gonna call that friend. You're gonna
Yep.
call the Mother Teresa friend, the one that says, turn the other cheek. Yeah, I know.
Turning it. I'm sorry. I want to acknowledge everybody in the chat. We're just, I see you, David Corey. I see you, Young Riz, Big Rooster, Tamika, Warm Sean, all of you. Thank you for coming in. I do see you in the chat. I'm just going to periodically just say hi to you because I want this conversation to continue without me being a distraction to the guests in the panel. And I want you all to hear what we have to say because you can share this with somebody else. So if I continue to just like call everybody's name out, we're not gonna make it through it because you all know I'll be talking in the chat and not on the panel. So I see you. Just know that I see you over there, and thank you for coming. And we're gonna get back to this conversation. So I think we all can agree that, and we do have a single lady on here that if she wants to say something on behalf of the single, she can. But um, I definitely agree with you all that I
She
won't
just
point any
she
fingers.
just put
I
But
all
know.
your
Tamika's
business
like,
out.
oh
She
no,
just put
I know
out
you.
I
how
don't want
she
to be
know
the
you
spokesperson for single women.
No,
right.
I do not speak on behalf of all single women or
No,
people.
she can't speak on behalf of all single women because even all single women don't think alike, do they? Like when I
No,
was
not
single,
at all.
I thought differently. I thought like Andrea, who just happened to be single. So I'm just putting her on the spot because she's looking quite beautiful today, and just in case.
Thank you.
Well, I will say this, having spent 50 years being single and then becoming a married woman made a huge difference. And now I can appreciate what marriage has to bring, but I also now appreciate what my singleness was, because some of that stuff I lost, it's gone. Bye-bye. You don't get to do that anymore.
Bye
And
bye.
yeah, and it took me a little while to harness that because, it was knee jerk. Oh, that's how it is. No, it's not. You don't get to do that when you're married. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
the
like a
truth.
lot of things. Oh, go ahead, Adrian.
No, I'm just saying that's the truth.
It's definitely the truth. When you have someone that's married taking advice from a single person, I just say single people. Okay, let me just say this before because I don't want people yelling at me in the chat, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like, if you're single and you're trying to give advice to a married person, you're going to come across. You're going to take it from the experience of a single person because that's what you know how to be, and you. Some single people do have good advice, right? They do have good advice, and like Star said earlier, you can take bits and pieces of it, but don't try to apply the whole thing. Like they might say, "Look, if I was you, I'll roll out of there. I'll be doing this and that." But we all know if you're married that you just can't pick up and leave every time you get upset. You can't just be like, "Hey, I'm out of here." Like,
And
forget you.
you
Do
can't say everything that's going through your head. Everything
oh,
that you're thinking need not come out of your mouth.
that is absolutely
Detrimental.
right. And I think I was gonna have this. This was another topic, but we might as well get into it. Maybe I'll talk about it again. You definitely can't. Everything that you're thinking cannot come out of your mouth. Ask me how I know. I've
Mhm.
learned. You know what?
No.
Because and I think we should talk about this since it's taken a turn for those people who aren't married. Like, listen to this. This is good counsel because if you think you're going to get married and have everything your way and just your way, you are sadly mistaken. Marriage is, and I won't even put a number to it like a percentage, but it's a whole lot of compromise. And Star Smile, it's a whole lot of compromise. Would you agree with that, Star and Adrian?
Yes,
Mhm.
I would. I would. Like I said before, I'm not gonna um, you know, throw shade at being single, and I'm not gonna throw shade at being married, of course. You know, it was what I prayed for. It was what I wanted. But God has a sense of humor, and usually He's the only one laughing. And you, you,
Sometimes we
he
laugh.
he he will give you what you didn't ask for sometimes, or you didn't
Sometimes,
say, I don't want that. And he's like, yeah, but he got your back. But I'm saying that to say, no one is perfect. And
Mhm.
for those people that are single, um, wallow in it. Wallow in the privileges that you have being single. And for those of us that are married, we can wallow in the privileges that we have in marriage. And I do mean I'm saying wallow very loosely because a girlfriend and I used to say that when we were, they had a singles ministry. Remember at church, they would have a singles ministry.
yes,
Yeah.
the
And,
singles
and, right. And then they would have a women's ministry. And when we went to the women's ministry, the women would be like, yeah, I don't know why you want to be married. And we're like, well, we like to roll over at 2 o'clock in the morning, sometimes. But when you're
Oh,
single, you can't really do that.
yeah, sometimes my feet are
uh,
cold. My feet are
why the
always cold. I
church?
need
Why the
somebody to
church
put me
women
in.
be saying that?
Well, that's what they say. But I know why.
So
I'm
funny.
married now. So I know why the
Oh
church lady
God,
hums. And I know why the church lady said, what you
that's
want
so
to get
funny.
married for? You sure you know what you're doing?
But you
you
know
know.
what? Like you said, like because none of us are perfect. But when you get married, you realize there are some things that maybe you think are good, like a good characteristic of yourself. You realize that it's not.
It's not. It's not.
It's only good
Trash
with
it.
you, but it's not good for someone else. And
Trash
so
it.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
so
lot of
glad you
things that you
decided.
realize about yourself when you're married that you didn't realize before. And those are some things that you have to choose to change, like suck it up, deal with it and change, or
Hmm.
continue to make that an argument. But who wants to
Who
live the
wants
rest
to
of their
keep
married life
right? You know.
with that argument? And you know you can change, and that's more than likely something that should be changed.
And that's not what the Bible refers to as a wise woman. She
Exactly.
Mm,
buildeth a home, not teareth it down with her tongueth.
not
Right.
Timothy.
Righteth.
Timothy. And we all know, like, that tongue is
Y'all
a
look,
very
we grew up King James version right there.
we, we are talking. Look, we ain't saying nothing but King James. What happened to the comment? What the CEB and the NLT and the NIV? Oh, for everybody who doesn't know it, those are different translations, the amplified version. So I'm glad I didn't have a script for this, as I never do, because this conversation is taking a whole left, and I'm glad.
Well, before it goes further left, I also wanted to mention really quick that another reason why I wrote about not telling those people everything, because you have to be careful about who you think is your
Mm,
friend and who you're talking to.
where's my
Um,
bell?
because everybody, that was
I need
me,
a bell.
because everybody does not have your best interest in mind.
That's right.
And you can be at the beauty salon and Bebe and them be there every Saturday when you come in and you run bumping your gums. Oh, y'all know Bebe and them.
Baby. Mm,
You bumping your gums about your husband and your marriage and oh he this and oh he that, and they taking mental notes.
they're taking
And
notes.
and the next thing you know, Bebe then slid up under your
DM.
husband.
Baby didn't called, or she to try to DM somebody.
Yeah, Bebe has an ulterior motive. So
Mhm.
I'm saying, that was a part of me pinning that. Like, you don't need to tell everybody everything. They don't need
And
to know that your husband is Mr. Ed. That's personal. Just be happy that your husband is Mr. Ed. I'm keeping it clean,
I
but
know.
you know what I'm talking about.
I just like visual.
Ah.
They don't need to know that.
Oh, David Corey says I'm good. They picking up what you putting down. Ooh, that's so true.
Boom.
Oh,
Really good.
David Corey. See you coming in here starting stuff as
That's
always.
it.
You right,
Yeah,
David.
shedding wisdom right there. That's it
One
right
They
there.
man's
picking up
trash
real
is another
fast.
man's treasure. Yes, sir.
Whoa. And the thing that you're complaining about, like you said, they're taking notes and they're like, I can do it
Hmm.
better. Everybody can
Every
do
time
everything
I
better.
turn around, that's what he want. Every time I
Mhm.
No, you need to work that out. You need to go
Right.
to GMC and get you some pills or something and drink you some tea to try to keep up with Mr. Ed. If that's what Mr. Ed want. I'm just saying,
This
you
is why
know.
Not go to
she
GMC.
is
Oh
very
my God.
elaborate, very detailed. So get the book.
Oh, it's that's right. It's GNC. I'm sorry. That GMC is a truck. I want a truck
Yeah,
so bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
it's okay. It's all right.
But yeah, he's
You picked
correct.
back up
They picking up what you putting down.
what you putting down. And
That's true.
also, let me just add something to what you just said. Like, people are picking up what you putting down. And also, what you won't tolerate, somebody else will tolerate.
I mean,
Did-
is it gonna hurt you to make some cornbread once a week?
Right,
I
right.
mean, what's
It's going. I don't even like to cook, but I find myself in here cooking. I'm cooking
I'm
this
just
thing.
saying. You know what I
For
mean?
real.
But seriously, like, what if I would have said, "Oh, I don't like to cook. I'm out of here. Deuces." Then what? And then Shaquita, since we're doing names, we're just gonna make up names of Applehead. Applehead is over there waiting, listening to me say, "I don't feel like cooking every day, and I ain't doing it."
And
And my
she's
husband
gonna
is,
slide in and bring some baked macaroni and cheese
Right. And
and say,
some
"I
pot
made
roast
this
and some greens
for you
and
and
it's
and
your
gonna be tasting
husband."
good.
That's right.
or you two might remember this. Tamika, I gotta say your name the proper way because I'm about to call you what I call you, but Tamika, or somebody who might have called themselves your friend way back when and start. You can remember this in AA to make show up at somebody's job and put their bosom bosom. Y'all like that word? Put their
Oh Lord.
breastplates on the desk and back their little eyes. and try to get somebody's attention. And I'm saying this is from some experience. So they might do that and show up and try to take
They
what you put down.
might.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, be watchful. Watch them. Watching
Mm-hmm.
you.
I
I'm watching
mean,
you.
for sure. Um, because like I said, everybody does not have your best interest in mind. The uplifting and success of your relationship is not one of their goals.
Yep.
It's just not. And that doesn't have to be, baby. Maybe your mom or your sister doesn't care for your spouse for whatever reason. I never like him anyway. You
Mm-hmm.
just need to be very vigilant about whom you speak to and what you speak to them about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Like, I definitely agree that you have to watch your audience or be aware of your audience. Who are you saying this particular thing to? And that comes along with knowing that person's character, I think. Just like I said with you three, you're honest with me, and I feel like I can tell you also. But like, if I had somebody that I did not, then I would not tell them certain information. And also, while we're at it, what about those people who call yourself their friend, who, like, say you have good news and you call them with your good news, but then they're negative, like a negative Nancy. They don't want you to win. What do you do in situations like that when you have somebody who's like, oh, well, I don't think you should do that? You know what I mean? Are we on the same page, or should I
You
go a
need
little
to
bit
cut that phone conversation short.
quick? Do it quickly
I'm glad you're
because
doing well. Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I love you. All right, baby. Bye bye. Bye bye.
very much, and not just a conversation. I mean, depending, and I'm probably not the right person to say this because you all know my history of friends. But what if that person,
She
you
ain't
called
got no
them,
friends.
I ain't got no friends. That's part of the reason why. Like, because if I discern and I feel like I'm getting a bad vibe from you, and I've called you with some excellent news, and I just want you to be happy for me. What's wrong with being happy for another person? And then you just shoot me down. You're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were you. What are you gonna do with this? I didn't call you to get this negativity. I called you so that, hey, maybe I was calling for a suggestion, or maybe I was looking for you to just say,
Mm.
hey, you can do it. Oh yeah, you got this. Just try your best. You might not believe in whatever I'm saying at that moment, but maybe I just called you to have somebody who just a listening ear or somebody who can cheer me on.
Or
And so,
Mm-hmm.
also, you want that friend that if you call and you say XYZ happened between me and my partner, and this is how I feel, you want that friend that's going to say, see, back it up, you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
you do.
And that
So
you may have a situation where you just kind of hot at the moment and you just want an event and you tell a friend, and then that friend would get upset with your significant other or
Right,
that mutual friend, and just go straight out and say something or act some kind of way towards that person, but you're past it now. You're past it,
right.
and
They don't forget.
you're just like,
Good point,
don't
Adrian.
don't treat
They
them
don't
like
forget.
that. But it's like you've already shared how you feel, so they took it some kind of way because they're trying to defend you, but what you didn't do is protect that relationship in the first place.
That's correct. And good point, Adrian, because that's another part of it. They don't forget, especially when you're talking about your mom and your close relative and your sisters. If you always have something negative and bad to say about your partner when you talk to these people, that's the image of that person that they're going to carry in their head. If
Right.
you mix it up and you call and say, "Oh, Big Daddy bought me some flowers today," go ahead, girl, go ahead. Then the next week you like, Big Daddy gonna make me slap him. Now, it's called being real. This is transparency. But if every time you call, you have a nasty stank report, that's the image that they're going to see. That is going to be their meme, their
Right.
icon of your
Right.
partner.
And then you're
yeah,
gonna
and you
wonder why they treating that person some kind of way, and you're gonna get upset. You're like, well, why wouldn't they?
I don't even know why you
right,
still with him because
because
I'm committed. We are
I'm committed.
married. This is, you know, yeah.
Right.
And I love them. Like, what if you and you love this person, so you see them differently anyway. You're gonna see them in a different light than that person. Like, you see them for in their entirety because you live with them. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have this person may have flaws. They have flaws, but you're able to deal with the flaws because you love them, just like they can deal with your flaws. None of us
Mm,
are perfect. We just said that, so you're able to navigate situations that that person might not be privy to that
They're
information.
not privy.
They're not
And
privy. They
I
don't
like
know.
what David just said.
Yeah,
They think cause y'all friends that their situation. They
right.
do. You're right, David.
mm-hmm.
They become overly involved.
Yeah,
They
and they
do.
want to
Yeah.
jump
But
in.
I think though you have to be careful when you keep telling that person your business, right? You are overly involving them, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And only
Exactly.
Exactly
and
right.
only when it's bad, only when it's upset. But then when you're happy, they don't hear anything. You
That's
oh, we're fine.
exactly
I
Right.
love
correct.
him. We're together. But then when
Yeah,
he
it's
yeah.
makes you mad
quiet.
again, it's quiet. But
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
when something else happens,
Ooh,
now it's out again. So that's all that person has to go off of, right?
Right.
Right.
You
And that's why I
you just
ooh,
have to
said if
have balance.
Big
ooh.
Daddy buy
I like
you
how you came
something,
in
tell
with
him
that
that.
strong point. Look at you. You was over there listening the whole time and came right in.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That is that's a great point though. You're absolutely right. I agree with you.
Yeah. You just, you gotta tell him when Big Daddy do something good. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because Big
And then
Daddy, you ain't telling that Big Daddy got you those flowers and took you out to eat
yes.
just because. Because I'm one of those girls. I don't care about the Valentine's Day and all of that stuff. I just like I like just because. You can do that if you want. And my husband thought it was weird when I first got with him, and he was like, "You know, like Valentine's Day." I was like, "No, it's commercial. I don't care. I want you to do something because you want to do it. I don't want you to do it because they say it's Valentine's Day or this is Christmas. Just get me something. Those mean more to me. Do it because
Yeah.
you felt like doing it today. Or I thought Drea needed something. I thought she needed a nap, so I'm taking the kids for a ride. It's things like that that and I'm speaking for myself. When you're married, you're able to recognize and say, "Hey, they were looking out for me today." Now, your friend
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know that. They just know that you were like, "I feel like choking him today," right? So,
Yeah.
you
And
damn
David
let's
right.
and let's even get off of the other person that you may be sharing with your friend. It could be on you because if you look like a negative Nancy every time you're saying something, then you're gonna start looking at your friend some kind of way. Like, why is it that I'm always hearing negative stuff about your spouse or about,
about Big Daddy.
anybody else, any other relationship that you have is always negative? Like, dang,
Mhm.
David
why are
said,
you up
"Don't
in this
tell them
negative pit?
nothing about Big Daddy."
And then you would since who started this Big Daddy
I
star? You did it.
Sorry.
And since we're talking
Oh
about
my
Big
god.
Daddy, don't tell them nothing about Big Daddy.
Ooh,
Stay off
David, you
Big
gonna make
Daddy.
my eyelashes come off. Oh, that's hilarious. Don't tell them nothing about Big Daddy.
Don't say nothing about Big Daddy. Just like it wasn't Benita Betrayal. Don't say nothing about Miss Jenkins. Don't say nothing about Big Daddy.
And
Because
you right, young Riaz, Jesus is your friend. That's what my mom used to tell me.
hallelujah.
Say something for Jesus. That's my coin phrase. Save some for Jesus. You
Say something for
better.
Jesus. You said it earlier. Say something for Jesus.
That's in the book too.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus not gonna sit there and judge you. Like he gonna listen. Because I'm telling you, I've had a many nights. I ain't talking about just marriage. I'm talking about just in life where I've
Oh
had a many
God.
nights where I was talking to Jesus, had a little talk with Jesus, and I told him all about my troubles. He was just listening. I'm like, "Are you there? Do you have anything to say, Jesus? Because I need to know." And he was just like, "No, I'm quiet." I'm like, "What? How do I figure this out?" I don't.
Silence is your answer sometimes.
I
Mm-hmm.
know, but I want to answer. I want him to drop a brick. I don't want silence. Give me an answer, Jesus. I
Silence
want it.
is sometimes your answer. Be
Silence
still.
is golden. Who said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Silence is golden, and I have definitely experienced the silence before. So, oh boy,
Yeah. We definitely don't want to be the negative Nancy's of the peoples.
David, he always
We
came
like
up
the
on
same shoes and purses. Actually, we don't. Now, when me and my girlfriends were out in college, we all were attracted to very, very different types of men. So we, aside from being loyal to each other, we would never do that. Like that was just not an option. I was never attracted to the same guys that my girlfriends were attracted to. I mean, not that I thought they were ugly, but it was just like, okay, he nice. He ain't my flavor, but
my cup of
and
tea.
it was
Right.
the same with me. So we didn't have to worry about that, David. We didn't have to worry about
Well,
that.
see, now we gonna talk. See, now you bring up something else because I think that's also now that's probably a part of it. But also, don't you have like a girl code? Guys have a guy code. We have girl codes too, where you you're not talking. I don't want to know about, I don't want to date somebody that my friend dated.
Oh God, no.
Right.
Yeah, because I already heard about what he did and what he doesn't do and all that. So no, I
I
don't.
actually had a girlfriend that said to me when I broke up with this guy in college, "Oh, girl, y'all done? Can I holler at him?" And I was like, "Are you serious?"
I've had that happen too. I've had
Like
that happen.
then it was like she laughed it off and was like, "No, no." And in my head, I'm like, "She dead serious," and my
Right.
answer was no.
No, to okay. So I must have missed. She
Don't
said no. To
cross that line.
don't cross that line.
It's a
Hmm.
bad line to cross.
Because what do you do when you're in the same presence? Like if you're still friends, what do you do when you're in that person's presence and then they talking about your, the person? And you like that could be kind of weird. I haven't had that happen. I'm just guessing. I
Do
don't know.
not
Anybody?
eat
I'm
those
just saying, like,
cookies.
what kind of friend is that though? I think I'd be looking at her like,
I was. I mean, he wasn't looking at her, but she kind of sort of made it clear that she found him attractive. Oh, you and so not talking no more? Nah, we canned it. Girl. And I'm like, no.
Mm. Oh, you made me think of
Leave that in your dreams. Don't go there.
uh,
leave it in your dreams. Now let me ask you something. Like, what happens if, say, you are, and this might be for single people, and I'm gonna go off task just for a second.
We
Like, what
got to
if you
get
had
David out this chat. I'm sorry.
David? That's big brother David. Look, David is here having a good time. I'm glad. So, what if you had somebody? Say you're dating somebody, right? And somebody approaches you. I thought about this, you said this, Star, and somebody approaches you, and they're like, "Hey, are you talking to such and such?" And then you're like, "Hmm, um, no." But say you were talking to this person, but because that person asked you, then you just kind of like, no, I'm not talking to him now. Because you're throwing him a bone. Well, I don't know if it makes sense because it makes sense in my mind. Like just say that this person you were dating for a while. You might have been dating other people too. So it wasn't exclusive. It was just like, we're dating.
Nah, it was just him.
Oh, okay. Well,
It was just him.
yeah, well that's tacky, but
I mean, we weren't like, I mean, I was in college. This was early college. So, it wasn't like, oh, it was serious. But we dated exclusively for a moment.
mm,
And, you know, we did what we did. But it was like, oh, y'all not to wait a minute. you know.
yeah,
And
like we
I was not, she was not a person that, I particularly shared details with about, let's call him Mr. Apples.
yeah.
You know, I didn't tell her about Mr. Apples. Like she knew we were dating and, it was like, ooh, Mr. Apple's fine. I'm like, ain't he though, girl? Ain't he? But then you turn around and ask me about Mr. Apples after me and Mr. Apples candid. Yeah,
Mm.
no. And
They're
and
saying,
and and now we go back to that chessboard. So now she moved to another spot because now, like Adrian said, I got to watch him.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I got to watch her, not him,
yeah,
her.
yeah,
Because who else you looking at?
right.
There's
That's my
it's
part.
right. It's just
I
like
think that relationship is over.
yeah.
but see, there's
Friendship
me.
relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't end my friendship with her because she's a good friend in other aspects.
Question mark.
I see, but that was the last panel discussion about my chessboard.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, okay. I missed that one.
right, my chessboard where I move people around based on where they are and how they're needed in my
Oh,
life. You know what
gotcha.
I'm saying,
Hmm.
Tamika? You don't need
Mhm.
everybody the same way all the time.
Right. Yeah.
No, you
So,
don't.
I needed her for something else, but I didn't need her to be, she was not going to be the one that I was going to call and talk about Mr. Peaches whenever he came along when I started seeing him. No, you don't get to know about Mr. Peaches. And she was not someone that I would run to the
I hear you.
store and leave at the house with Mr. Peaches. Let me go over to 7-Eleven and grab some milk. I'll be right back, y'all. Yeah, no. Come on, girl, you going with me? Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going with me, but you're about to get the boot because I don't want to have to watch you. Like if I have to watch you and you're supposed to be a part of my squad and be my friend, I mean that happened to me. I had no issue like dropping that person. I mean that the situation I said earlier happened, and I was kind of like, okay, well, oh, we're done. I haven't spoken to that person since, and I don't feel bad about it. Like if I feel like if you
Yeah.
are sly enough to go behind my back and do something like that, that means you were watching that person all along, and I don't trust you. Forget loyalty. We're done. I had nothing to say to
I
you.
don't
Don't call me, don't text
disagree.
me, don't DM
But
me, don't nothing.
right, see, that's me. But what Star is saying, I mean, hey, if you can juggle that, go.
That's me. I
That's
can
you.
juggle it.
Yeah, that's you. You
I
can
Yeah,
juggle
I
that.
I have use for you in other areas of my life.
yeah.
You might be a hardcore geek. You can fix a computer like that. I still need you. My computer might need get fixed. But you're
It's
not
all
gonna
about
come
it's all about choices, right? You can
It's
choose if
that's
you want them
exactly.
in your life or
and you
not.
know, I
Exactly.
agree with that. It is about choices, and we have the four of us on here. We all might think a little bit differently about that, and that situation because where Star will put him on the chessboard, I will just not talk to you, and I'm done with you because I see it differently. But I think that just shows how unique we are and able to have all our different opinions and conversations because there's somebody who's listening that's like Star, somebody who's like me, somebody who's like Adrian and Tamika. So,
Wait, wait,
oh,
wait.
this is
Speaking of
good.
Tamika, what do you do, Tamika? Do you oust them?
Mhm.
Thank you, Jane.
You oust
Yes,
them, don't you? I figured that.
immediately.
I pretty much knew you was a
You,
cutoffer.
you
We're
cut off
done.
queen of
You cut off.
Hmm.
done, done, done.
We're done.
Why? Why do you say that, Tamika? Why are you done with that person?
Well, if I feel like I can't trust you as a whole, I don't want to have to. I can deal with you. I get that there are different friends for different situations, different areas of your life. But if it's a trust issue, then I feel like I have to watch my back a little bit, you know? And so I just rather not deal with them. And if I need them, let's say they filled a certain spot, like let's say they were that computer person. Well, now I got to go to Best Buy and pay for it because,
Exactly. You gonna get
like,
some geek squad?
Right.
You
because
got the geek
I,
squad.
Nope.
I can't, they can't stay.
We got geek squad and we got what is it? Fiverr. You got so many
Yeah,
different people that
whoever,
contract this.
whoever can come. Yeah.
Mhm.
See,
But I'm
yeah.
not.
Whosoever will, let him come.
That's
Who's
my
never will.
thoughts too. I rather figure it out some other way because
Nope.
yeah.
And I'd rather get you to fix my computer because you good at it and you going to do it for free.
But how you gonna feel?
But you don't get to come to the barbecue.
You know,
Oh
you
my
don't get to come to the
gosh.
barbecue. You gonna get your computer done for free, and then you gonna be looking at that person sideways like,
No, I'm not.
you
I'm
know
going to
what? I
invite
got
them to
my
fix my
barbecue.
computer. They going to fix
You're
my
right.
computer. I'm going to serve them some donuts and milk. We're going to have a honking good time. And Mr. Apples is going to be at work when I do this. You understand? I strategically.
David is. See, that's the thing, and we talk about this all the time. You all like we talk about this off the panel too, by the way. So you all are getting a taste of it. But yeah, you are very strategic, and I have to say, like Star has friends from way back, and I'm like, oh man, she still got a friend, like, and people that are still in her life, and I can understand why because sometimes you might need a plumber. What if you can't get to a plumber? You need that toilet fixed right now. So I understand. I'm just saying it ain't me. Like I don't want you in my presence
Yeah.
because you just straight up you already showed me who you are and I don't even want to look at your face most of the time. I'm just being honest. Like I don't want to see your face because you did something to me that was unnecessary.
I
And
didn't say
if
it was egregious. Now,
no,
if she had slept with Mr. Apples, I've had that happen too. And that
uh,
person got cut off.
yeah.
You,
So it's different levels to the cutoff is what we're
yes,
saying. It's
there's
just
different levels. Like I said the last time, if it's egregious, you get removed from the chessboard.
very moved. And it
So,
all
yeah, no.
you're real consistent with it. I will say that because you talk about this chess game, all the time, and
Oh, it's
it's
true.
very consistent with what you're saying because it's true. You're
I've
right.
recently moved some people.
They went hop up
They've
the board.
recently changed positions.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
David said, "Wait, pause."
Hi, Beyonce. Oh, welcome, Beyonce. I don't think I've ever seen you. Welcome to Geeky Girls Journal.
Oh,
Going
she's
straight to
going to
Best
Best
Buy.
Buy.
She said she's going to Best Buy. David, what are you doing? I think we already know what David Corey is doing. Beyonce. He said, wait. David Corey said, wait, pause.
Hey, Andrea, you remember this situation in college?
You know, spill the beans right here on the internet.
Yes,
We gonna
and
do
Okay.
it wasn't. And one of Andrea's, what were you
Go ahead.
dating? Were you dating him? Yeah,
Probably so.
right. It
Because it's
was
old news
dating,
now. So
and then they stopped dating, and then he wanted to date me,
ooh,
Huh?
yes,
and
Oh, that's
so
yes,
nasty.
and this was my ride to school.
Oh no.
yes, it's true.
And I was like,
Uber.
right,
No, they didn't have Uber back
I
then.
know, but I'm just saying
right. They didn't have Uber
Uber.
back then. But the fact that you dated my
They
sister and you thought you were gonna have me next,
That's nasty.
well,
trifling.
dang it, I know I ain't have no ride to school after that.
What? Wait, what? Wait, what? What country were they from? Because that's not a
Ah,
U.S.
America,
thing, is it? That's not a
yes,
U.S. thing. That
it
sounds
was.
like some, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was definitely US. It was trifling. That's what it was. It was a
Well,
that's
trifling.
what
what it,
area of the country was
it
it? Because
was
maybe it
Yeah,
was
trifling.
like, Smoky Mountains.
It was a Midwestern area.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord, no.
but they were from a city. Like, no, this person should have known better. But I guess they thought, hey, I can have my cake and my ice cream. Why not?
No,
Like,
you
what?
just
Right,
that trifling. That's,
It was
that's
right.
like we do not,
trifling.
and we showed that we
I
were
had to
like,
find
we
me
did not
another
get
way
her.
to school. I was like, I'm done.
She did. It was bad timing too because that was working out perfectly. I was working in the school and she had a ride, but she made a choice. Like, who
Mm,
else would
mm,
you choose?
mm.
Who
What
else
kind
would
of
you choose? Like,
nonsense is that?
Oh,
I just was like, I
no.
couldn't even believe the person tried it. Like, you really thought that my sister was gonna give you the time of day? I didn't
Oh,
get it.
Maybe some people do it, but it don't work that way up in here.
I
It don't work that way with
yeah.
us.
That's some Jerry Springer, God rest his
Right.
soul, stuff
That's what
right
that is.
there. That,
Yes,
yeah.
David. He was 340 degrees backwards. You are absolutely right. He
He,
sure
Hmm.
was.
Oh, he
He was. Do
was.
you know what? I don't know if he had gotten away with that with maybe another set of sisters, but it wasn't this set of sisters. Like, that's not
No.
how we do it. So
Mm-mm.
we threw right onto the curb, and we had some fun doing it too, didn't we?
I can't, it's, yeah.
Oh no, that's right.
Star, hold on. You don't remember that, Star? Oh
Yes, we
gosh.
had a good time. Geeky Girls
Well,
Journal is
I
talking.
kind of was in my own world, but off
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah,
you'll have
yeah,
to remind me.
yeah. We will. You were because I think you were.
I was in
Yeah,
grad
you
school.
were.
Y'all were in
No,
undergrad.
no, maybe she was
We
in
were in
undergrad.
undergrad. I'm trying to think if you were even in
Yeah,
America
you were in
Oh,
then.
was I?
undergrad.
Okay,
Was she in another
we
country?
weren't going in.
Oh, hold on.
You may have been. No. You were in America at the
I
time, but
was
we
in
were different.
America.
Yeah, she
You
was
were definitely in
here.
America. We just weren't in the same state. Or no, we were in the same state. We just weren't in the same
No,
vicinity.
well,
No, we weren't in the
no,
same state.
we weren't in the same state then.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
well
why
then,
we didn't.
yeah, that's what. No,
It was before we
it
moved to
was
the same
before you.
state.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was before our East Coast connection. We can just tell you
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So no, I wouldn't know
so now that we have that cleared up.
that.
Right.
So Associate Minister and Reserve Deacon Mr. Terry Jones says Geeky Girls Journal is talking about the difference between a relationship and a relationship. I don't know if I'm reading that incorrectly, but a relationship is out of free will. A benefitship, or maybe he's going to say benefitship. A benefitship is out of need because one or more persons can't their basic needs. Let me see. Can't get their basic needs of life. Okay. I know it's
Hmm.
He
you
talking
all
about my
understand.
computer fixing.
Your computer. You talk about your geek that's not from Best Buy.
I'm sorry. It sounds really like I'm a horrible person, and everybody on this panel knows I am anything but a horrible person.
No, you are not.
But and I tend to have extensive patience with people. These people on this panel will tell you I have the patience of Job. So this is why I move people around. You determine your status in my life and your level of friendship that you have with me. You determine that, not me.
So you're saying, depending on that person's character and their responses to whatever you may say or whatever you may do, they kind of put themselves on that chessboard, or they might be taken off eventually.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
just recently moved someone because I'm not feeling the vibe that I'm getting. I'm feeling a vibe of envy, and it's very painful for me because I love this person dearly.
You love this person again.
But I have to make a decision to
Mm.
readjust that relationship.
Mm.
And it may be temporary because, I've known this person for a very long time, and when I say that, I mean since grade school.
Mm,
It's a long time.
It's a very
that is,
long time. So it's very painful for me. I talk about it like it's easy to do that, but it's not always easy to do that when it's someone that you genuinely love. And now I think it's because they're in a place of bitterness. And sometimes when that happens, people's poison seeps off onto you,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to step away until they can get themselves together. So I'm saying that.
mm,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Brand. Yeah, I saw your statement, David. Yeah, we know each other. We all know each other well.
He said, "What are we offering?"
Yeah, we're all. What are y'all all friends? Yes, we are friends. I'm connected to
Sometimes.
you most of the time. Yeah, we're all friends. I'm connected to each of these. Actually, we're all connected. Like that's my sister. That's my other sister. Um, sister. I told you we don't have the same mom, so I don't know if she want how far she wants me to go with telling how we're linked, but I'll just say we're sisters, and that's my aunt over there. So
I'm the grand poobah.
that, yeah, David, you may not know, and other people may not know. So that's my aunt, and that's my sister below me, and that's my other sister right there. I know some people say sister in love. I just say this my sister. So
Yeah, we're
now
just
you have it.
sisters.
We're the Brady Bunch right here. We're just sisters, right?
We're just
The
sisters.
Brady,
Easter.
the Brady. So
We're sisters with voices.
sisters
Yes.
with what
So we digress.
we
Oh
digress.
gosh.
And I'm looking at the time, ladies. I see that it's 6:58, and I know I
Yeah.
told you all at 7. Would you all like to stop at 7, or are you okay with going to like 7:15 and stopping?
Well, I think you
Just
need time to wrap it up, and the last football game doesn't start before that, so I'm good.
notice she is the only one on the panel that's concerned about football, because the rest of us are like,
Look,
I
hey, University of
No thanks.
Colorado. I didn't get to see that. That's the only game I'm really concerned about
I have to watch my football
with
and I
Deion
have no
Sanders.
idea.
games
Brandon said
all
you all.
day.
So,
David said, "Who's keeping time?" We are.
okay, David, who's keeping time?
It's okay. I
You
turn the
know,
football game on my phone. I'm not.
she can multitask,
I
David.
was
That's what she,
jumping double dutch and watching it on my phone.
look at David. Who cares about football? David,
Oh, come now.
we're talking about Cropper, because Cropper, he out there cropping. He ain't worried about the football game, or are you, David? So, ladies, okay, so we'll cut it off at 7:15. Do we all agree on that? Because I just want to make sure
Yes.
we won't have any loose ends. The last time I felt like I had more to say, but I had to cut it off because I had to go to out of state. So, don't tell your mama, sister, and girlfriends everything. That's what we're talking about, everybody. Are there any final remarks that any of you ladies would like to say before? Because I know 7:15 is gonna come up really quickly. Like anything that you'd like to add to this conversation, and maybe I didn't ask the question, or maybe I just overlooked, because I think the last time when we were talking about discernment, which discernment, because Star told me not to graze over that the last time. So I want to bring discernment back into this conversation. What we're talking about, don't tell your mama, sister, girlfriends, everything. That's anybody who you feel like you can be, if you feel like you can be transparent with that particular situation with somebody, go right ahead, test them out, see what they say. If they start acting a little weird, you may just not want to tell them something, that you might just not want to tell them that information again, or you just have to use discretion. That's what we were talking about. Or you might just have to use, people say common sense, but common sense really is not common, right? Like we say common sense, but really common senses are
Different for everyone.
smell. They're different for
Right.
everyone. That's a loose way to say common sense. So
And I wish
I
they
just
sold it
say,
in a can in the grocery store.
yeah,
Yes.
because it's not common. It's really not common. And for the people who don't have it, let's just take this approach. For the people who do not have common sense, how what is a way that they can, like, say you want to tell your somebody that you think is your friend this important piece of information you got. What is a good way that they can determine? And I know every situation is different, so this is just real general, like surface level. Would any of you have any advice to give anybody that's listening? Like, what would you do if you felt like that person didn't give you the response that you were looking for, or like say it was good news, I got a new job, or I'm starting a business, and they were just kind of like, kind of tabled it and didn't want to talk about you, but started talking about themselves. So what would you do in that situation? Do you think how would you bring it back, or would you, yeah, just kind of give us some insight on what you do in a situation like that if you felt like somebody really wasn't into your conversation at that moment? I'm looking at somebody put. I see.
Exactly. That's my answer, associate minister.
Where is he? That's who I'm trying to get back to, the associate minister.
Hmm.
Okay,
Jesus Christ and the Holy
there it is.
Spirit.
Show don't tell your friend, mama and sister. Okay, they don't want him. Okay, here he is. Is that the comment you're referring to? Job's wife worshiped the great Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit for material blessings in her life. Job worshiped the great Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. You must want us to really understand that because you said it twice.
I'm saying
You
his
sure
last
did.
comment when you're saying if you're not in tune with discernment, if you're not sure if someone is your friend, if you need someone to talk to, if you're not, you don't have that. Your mother may be deceased. You may not have any sisters. You may not have any friends. If you're a believer, you always have a friend in Jesus.
Take it to Jesus. Take it to Jesus.
If
That's
you're
right.
not a believer, become one. No, if you're not a believer,
No, it's true.
then meditate. And I say meditate because the meditating will have your inner spirit speak the truth to you. We're all spiritual beings, so it's there. That's what I got to say about that.
That's what you got. That's all you got to say about that. 'Cause we're all spiritual beings, even people who don't acknowledge that we are. Like we were
Even
all
people who
created with
don't
that.
acknowledge, that's right.
She
Yeah, and just because you
said
don't
what
acknowledge
she
it,
said.
she said what she said, and she ain't taking it back. So so even if you don't want to acknowledge that we are spiritual beings, that's your business, and we're not going to persuade you. We're not going to pull you by your coattail, but it's also our job to bring mention of it, which she did, and we did. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Tamika. Um, so David Corey said meditation is great. It's all vibrational. So that was very good, Star. I like the way you paraphrase that. And I like the way you said that because I think that's going to help somebody who's listening. It's 7:03. Okay, so we have a little bit more time. Tamika, do you have anything you'd like to add? Because you've been very quiet. I think you're over there thinking
Oh, I've been very
or
quiet.
listening.
Somebody
Sorry.
said
I've been
Tamika is
I've
so
been listening.
quiet.
I'm a listener.
She is a good listener, you guys. I can tell you that. She's a very good listener.
I think that just keep in mind what your goal is when you're talking to people about your problems, right? Am I here to vent? Am I here for advice? Those are two different things. And sometimes for me, when my friends come to me with an issue, if they're mad, I'm like, okay, so what's my role here? Am I listening or do you want advice? Because if you're giving someone advice and they don't want it, right, they're not going to receive it. So
Hmm.
just figure out what your role is and then figure out who you can talk to, right? So like, for example, I would tell my mom everything about my relationships and then I'm over it and she's still mad, right? And I don't know she's still mad and I'm over it. I'm happy. I'm laughing. And she's like, because remember, and I'm like, why are you bringing that up? We're past it. So you just have to know who you're talking to in that moment and how they're going to
Yeah,
take that information and move forward with it. So just
Hmm.
very
choose,
good,
choose your audience wisely.
very good point. That again goes back to like choosing, like you said, choosing your audience and choosing who you want to speak to about certain
Mhm.
issues. Yeah, I'm not going. Okay. Adrian, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
They have said everything. I am in so agreement with that. Know your audience. That's
Know
it.
your audience. Hmm.
And
Are there
use
any questions?
discernment. Yeah. So and everything that they said. Yes.
And lastly, pick up your copy today.
We can do a copy today. Well, while we're doing that, because it's 7:05, we have 10 minutes. So what I'd like to do is um, thank you all for coming in. I want to definitely give these ladies a chance to tell you where they can be found. If they don't want to tell you, if they want to just say Geeky Girls Journal, then that's fine with me. We see
Can
how.
I just point out? I'm sorry. I need to point out one
No, go
thing.
ahead, go ahead.
That David Corey is really on Miss Tamika,
He
and
is.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here,
I'm,
Mr. David Corey.
what is this? Love connection? I could
I'm
be
telling
David
you, I'm
Woolery.
telling you,
Tamika's like, no, I
Tamika,
don't.
you
I don't.
have
It's not.
an admirer up in the chat. It seems.
Yes,
If
you
I'm
do.
wrong,
Oh,
David, tell me. I might be wrong.
what's happening?
David, are you admiring my sister?
I'm telling you. Okay, this is so.
Ooh,
Or maybe
so
We're
David just
having an
giving her
interesting.
episode
some
here, a
compliments.
matchmaker.
David's giving her some compliments because she is sitting over there quiet,
He
thinking
said,
I
oh
and
no,
taking it
she's
all.
know
cool.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is
And then when she
cool.
comes in, she does come in and bring it. So, yeah, she says, "Oh no,
Uh huh.
yeah," because
Tamika is a
Thank you,
Oh,
wise
David.
woman. She's wise. There it
very
is.
wise.
Tells her part.
Very,
she like that owl on the Tootsie Roll Pop commercial.
A one, a two.
2,
A
3.
I
Oh.
don't know who remembers the owl of the Tootsie Pop commercial. That's a
Hey,
name.
hey,
Oh,
hey.
David.
Oh, I
Ooh,
know. I am over here, a boy. I am like chat dropping. I'm
oh,
looking. I had chat
I'm
has
not
I
going to even
I
sit
I
down. Let
Tamika's
me
like,
just.
you're embarrassing me.
Ooh,
Now she
Tamika
drinks.
is a taker.
She
as she
need a
drink her
drink
water.
after that.
Oh
Tamika
my
is a test player.
god.
She understands the difference between a
I'll bail you
relationship
out, Tamika.
and a
This is
beneficial.
not a dating forum.
This
However,
is
if you would like to have a dating conversation forum, put it in the chat and we can set up one for one of the other live sessions.
Listen to
ooh,
her
this is not
voice.
tender.
She just did voice code. She changed on it. Man, you sound like
Well, what?
This not
Star
tender.
Trebek.
She knows how to
I
not become emotionally attached to a person because the benefits they provide in her life. That's what Associate Minister Deacon Reserve
Okay.
Perry said,
All
Tamika.
right, David. Men can say that women are cute without meaning anything. That's so sweet. Yes. That was
That
a nice
is that is
compliment.
absolutely
Very
true.
yes.
nice compliment. That is so
But
true.
David, we
I
had to give you a hard
appreciate
time
it.
because you keep doing it to us right here. So we had to do that. We had to get
I'm saying, as much as you mess with us, we had to mess with you.
Oh, you have
so
been very entertaining,
yeah.
David. Very entertaining.
So Star has already given us the plug, and I'm fine. So the plug is Star. Where can people find you? And then we're gonna move on to Tamika. Where can they find you? Because I don't remember
Oh
if you
my
said that.
gosh. So, you know, I'm so bad at this, but IG is at Black Mermaid 67. I have a YouTube channel, Star Ridley. I'm still working on getting up my new voiceover website. So you have to wait on that one and just keep coming back to Geeky Girl Live because I'll be here.
You heard
Mhm.
it here. We're gonna be here.
And the book is on Amazon, Audible, iTunes, blah, blah, blah. I actually narrated that one if you don't want to buy the crispy copy.
Crispy copy. And also, if you are considering relationships, if you're in relationships, that is a book to get because she's giving you a blueprint. Well, her blueprint. She's got to
My
give you some
blueprint.
advice, some suggestions, and some things to look not to do. What's it called? 22 things.
Yeah,
You
and
tell
it's a fun book. It's a coffee table book that you can use at a party with your friends and just talk about it. It's a discussion starter. So, it's not like I'm a licensed psychologist or, I'm just a woman who spent 50 years single and then all of a sudden I was thrown into marriage.
and you have an opinion. So,
And I
really
have an
appreciate
opinion, and it's quite comical. And I make jokes, but I'm very serious about what I'm saying. So yes.
very serious. Now, Tamika, would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
They can find me here on another live.
Okay, you all heard me. You want to find Tamika?
I'll, I'll
She's
come
here
back.
alone.
I'll be back.
Yay! Woo! Maybe I'll have a bell so I can make it more interesting.
Yeah, get a bell.
Okay,
Get a
and get a
bell.
bell so I can pop, pop,
Oh
pop
my
bell.
god.
Okay.
I thought I had a
And
bell. Nope.
are you finished, Tamika? So I can move on to the next young lady.
That's
Oh yes, I'm done.
hilarious.
Thank you.
Okay. Adrian, where can
You
people
just
find you if they're
find me
looking?
right here too. That's where you're gonna
Well,
find me. You're gonna find me right here too at
okay.
Geeky Girls Journal.
Everybody, you heard it. So everybody on this panel is going to be right here, at Geeky Girls Journal. And again, I'm trying to make it a routine to do this on Sundays. I think Sunday, I'm trying to nail Sunday. Everybody, I told you all to pray for me the next time, and I meant to pray. You know, get a prayer in, talk to Jesus on my behalf. Let's see what happens. But I've been consistent for the past 2-3 weeks or something like that. So we're doing good, and it helps out when these lovely ladies join me. So, make sure you all check them out. They'll be here. So just yell at them in the chat section like Dave has been doing. He's been yelling at them and everybody else over here. So I just want to thank everybody because it's 7-Eleven. Thank you all for coming. Am I missing anything, Adrian, Star, Tamika? Because sometimes
And just make sure you show up next Sunday.
next Sunday at 6. I don't have it posted right now, but I am going to post it. So you all look out for that. And make sure you share it because we can't do this alone. Sharing is caring. And I really appreciate you all supporting. What else can I say? I mean, this was a wonderful live. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, ladies, for contributing with your wonderful answers, opinions, and facial expressions. And Tamika. So yeah, okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna read these last couple of comments and then we're gonna get on out of here. Geeky Girls Journal, thank you. Great YouTube channel as always. Please keep up the great work. Thank you, Minister Reserve Deacon Terry. I appreciate it. Hello, good evening, happy Sunday. Hey, DM Blog. I don't believe I've ever seen you here, so welcome. We're coming to the end of this live probably within the next couple of minutes. So just replay it. That's all you got to do. Just replay it, play it in the background and listen to it and comment on it. Let us know what you think about it. And then meet us back here next Sunday at 6. These
Eastern
ladies,
Standards. Eastern
Easter,
Standard.
that's very important. Thank you for telling me that because I want to make sure everybody knows. Now, we're all trying to come. If they don't show up, I'll be here by myself. So just come anyway. 6 p.m. everybody, Eastern Standard Time. David said, Kelly said, go for it. David said, you be on it, Geeky. Thank you, David. And also, Geeky Girls Journal, what time zone? They said they Eastern Standard Time. Oh, look at David. See,
He
you're trying to take
said
it
he
from us.
did.
I
I
ain't never
can't.
done that. Oh,
My
you be back.
face hurts from laughing at
David,
David.
you ain't right. You ain't even
David,
right.
I'm going to come and harass you in your short section. Then I may have to do that to get you back. So, and the J
Oh
is here,
God.
everybody. Great live and have a great day, Geeky Girls Journal panel. Yes, thank you all for coming in.
Thank
And
you.
it's 7:13. So we'll see you all at the next live. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. Don't forget to share this out. And don't forget to like it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.